it's me. It's a very big me. Hello, everybody. My name is sidneyraz, aka sidneyraz all over the internet. Like that slide says that I made in the back while everyone else was showcasing that they already had prepared slides. I do have about 8 million followers across the internet. I got well known for posting about life hacks, tips and tricks, and my tagline is things I wish I knew before I was in my 30s. Became popular around the same time everyone else did, but with COVID, everyone being at home, that kind of thing. So that's kind of how I got my following. Starting with that, it has lasted for about 4 years full time, which is my dream come true. And then in March of 2025, I was diagnosed with stomach cancer, stage T1A. So just want to say thank you for inviting me to this. Thank you for being in the room. It feels very nice to not be the only guy with cancer in the room, to just be around people that, you know, I can look at and go, no, you have chemo. I'm not. I just had my stomach removed. I'm not a big deal. No, thank you. Because when I say I have cancer, everybody wants to know who, what, when, where, why, you know. How did you find out? Why did you take your stomach out? Can you burp? Things like that, right? So again, just thank you to John, thank you to everyone in this room. But let's go to my story, kind of going over it a little bit. Basically, in March of 2025, I got a upper endoscopy because there was a chance that I had stomach cancer, hereditary diffused, because I found out that I had a gene deletion, ctNNA1, which is the cooler version of CDH1 in my opinion, because I'm nothing if not a hipster in all things, even cancer. So I got that phone call that I had the gene deletion in 2024, October 2024, and then I wait a little bit, decided to get the upper endoscopy done, and then of course I come out of the upper endoscopy at City of Hope in Duarte, very close to me, in Los Angeles, and everything looks good, right? Oh man, your stomach looks great, bud. Yeah, don't worry about it. And about a week later, sorry to tell you, you have stomach cancer. What do you mean, right? What does that even feel like? The presenter right before me talked about anxiety, depression, bouts of fear, uncontrollable sadness. I had it all, right? And meanwhile, I have a toddler in the other room, just being a toddler. Very difficult for anyone who doesn't have a toddler. So then we go in, we find the 1.7 millimeter cancer in my stomach, and we have a choice. Either you take out your stomach or you're surveilled. So my wife and I decided to take out the stomach. And I can't tell you how sort of relieving it was for the doctor when Dr. Yang-Hee Wu walked into the room after reading a chart of a 36-year-old seemingly healthy male, no underlying conditions, maybe could lose a few pounds. But that was her words, by the way, not mine. And how relieving it must have been for her. For me, after getting this diagnosis and having it explained to me, and looking at her and going, no, you don't need to convince me to get the stomach out. It's good, take it out. Because I didn't want cancer. Everything else doesn't matter, right? Oh, well, you're gonna have to change your diet. Oh, well, all of these things. But for me, the cancer issue was the big thing, because I had already lost my mom to cancer, lobular breast cancer, which, ironically enough, is caused by ctNNA1. But nobody knew that at the time. So I wasn't gonna leave my wife, I wasn't gonna leave my daughter, I wasn't gonna leave anybody behind, especially at 36. I mean, look at me, I'm gorgeous. So basically, that was a big swing, I appreciate that. Thank you. Basically, we didn't really have a choice. It was take out the stomach, right? So then I posted about it on the internet because I got a lot of followers. And then I found this incredible community. And then John calls me and goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe you don't need to take it out like tomorrow. You can wait a sec. And I went, nah, come on. Cancer bad, out good. But then I talked to other doctors in the community. I talked to other people in the community, Dr. Jeremy Davis, and got more testing, and endoscopic ultrasound came back positively, and I decided to wait a few months and just grieve the loss of my stomach while I had it in the best way I can by eating everything, gaining more weight, because obviously I'm going to do that, and going to Vegas. That was probably the best decision I've ever had. It was my first time and last time with my stomach in Vegas. And I will be going back without a stomach. And I just had fun. I just had a fun 3 months. I vlogged it, I posted about it, raised money, and tried to understand this new existence that I'm living in now. And then July 3rd of this year, I got to celebrate Independence Day from the British and cancer. So that's when I had my total gastrectomy. And it has been a steep learning curve. It has been not as difficult as it could have been. I think I was already sort of becoming more connected to my religion and Judaism before this. And then once I found out that you can get a genetic test done that connects an entire generation and generations to come and generations before, I thought, okay, I'm good. I'll go to temple more, that kind of thing. But since July 3rd, it's been difficult, but also worth it, because now I don't have stomach cancer. And I've been really happy to meet all these people, and it's been incredible. A big part of that story is the genetic testing, right? Why did I get that genetic testing? Well, the reason for that genetic testing was because in August of 2024, I lost my second daughter to holoprosencephaly, which is a genetic or a birthing defect, which basically my second daughter wasn't growing a brain. So we lost the pregnancy, and we wanted to find out why. So we sent out some of her DNA after she was delivered, after holding her, after going through that process. And when we sent out some of her DNA, she came back with the marker. She came back with the ctDNA explanation for my mother passing away and for me almost passing away. So Delphina Joe is the reason why I'm here. And she's the reason why now I can tell my living daughter, my cousins, my aunts, everybody, to go get genetic tested. This is ctDNA1. Hey, if you have it, you might have to get your stomach out, but at least you don't have cancer. So I always get to say something where it's like, well, if you really want to be depressed, let me tell you how I found out. That's depressing. And since it's so depressing, let's go into questions that I get asked from the internet about not having a stomach, because they're way funnier than the story I just told you. How did you recover so quickly? My best friend and basically my sister-in-law, Lindsay, asked me. Well, I had to tell her this, and since this is being recorded, I will say it again, because you helped me. And my friends and family matter a lot. So thank you, Lindsay. Thank you. Can you eat any foods, or are there any foods you cannot eat? I get very lucky to answer this question, right? Because, nah, dude, I'm eating everything. Maybe a little bit slower, maybe a little bit less when I take the big bite and have to think about it all the time. That's been pretty annoying over the last 3 months. Because before I had my stomach, oh boy, I was gross. What's been the most challenging part about this change? My blood sugar levels, I would have to say. I recently started taking ADHD medication. I don't know if you could tell, but my blood sugar spikes have been crazy. My weight loss recently has kind of not been alarming, but it's like, oh, I look like I was 21 again. That's not good. Or is it? But the blood sugar thing has been hard, right? So constantly having to snack, constantly having to like make sure that I'm not angry for no reason, right? Because there's no stomach stopping me from getting to the angry for no reason part of eating. So I think that's been the most challenging thing for me. Do you always feel hungry? No, because I never feel satisfied. So it's like this weird thing where I'm basically just a luggage carousel for food, where I just eat, wait 30 minutes, it goes down, wait 30 minutes, maybe have something else, and then it just keeps going. So if I never feel satisfied, I never feel hungry. And if anyone has seen The Curse of the Black Pearl, when Captain Jack talks about this, or not Captain Jack, Captain Barbossa, the bad guy, it's basically like that, except not in a terrible, ghoulish way. So no, I don't always feel hunger, but I also never feel satisfied. It's really, really weird. Does food taste different? This is something that I thought would happen. No, food does not taste different. It still rips. It's awesome. Probably even a little bit better now because I'm so grateful that I can still eat it. My food intolerance isn't there, so it's been amazing. Who or what has been your best resource? Shout out John. Right? Shout out Hope for Stomach Cancer. Shout out No Stomach for Cancer. Shout out so many incredible people. All of you in this room. Incredible resource. And of course, since this is being recorded, my wife, obviously. Only my wife. Because without her, I would not be here. I cannot stress that enough. She has saved me so many times. Was there a point when you thought you weren't going to make it? Absolutely. There was a point in those first few weeks where I didn't know what kind of cancer I had, how much, where it spreads. And I thought, that's not good. I'm going to be as coherent as possible through this process, but until we know that I'm not going to die, yeah, I thought I was going to die. But since I had been through it so many times, one of the biggest things that was pulling me through the grief process and knowing that I had to just kind of like keep my head on was knowing that I didn't want to leave my wife and daughter, was knowing that I had access to therapy. I had 100 milligrams of Zoloft already pumping through me because PTSD, dog. So I was okay, but yes, I was scared. But then I got more information and I wasn't as scared. The mental health piece must be a huge part of this recovery. What steps did you take? I encourage anyone who has not been to therapy to go to therapy. It's really helpful, especially when you think everything's ending and you can't stop crying like we just heard about. And for so many other reasons, therapy has been so helpful. My wife and I are in collectively 3 therapy sessions a week. Personal, couple, me, her solo, us together. I would say that I think I gain more benefits from the couples therapy, but that's just me. So go to therapy, y'all. Even if you don't have cancer, go to therapy. Have you eaten at any restaurants yet? Yeah, and it was scary. One of the things that I was really not looking forward to was being stared at while I was eating. Everyone in my circle knows me. Everyone in my circle knows how hard it is to exist already. So to have something like, hey, that guy's got no stomach, this is gonna be cool, right? Terrifying. What's also really, really, really inconvenient and rude of a lot of people in restaurants is they still have stomachs. Not cool, guys. Not cool. I would appreciate it if you did not shove that in my face all the time. But it isn't. Everyone's there just eating at a restaurant. I can order the same food. I don't have to be scared. Nobody thinks about it that much. If anything, my close friends and family, we all just enjoy the experience of me being there a little bit more now. And yeah, I eat slower and I'll eat some of it later. But yeah, restaurants were scary, but I go to them a lot. And I feel kind of vindicated too, to be like, yeah, I'll get that spicy thing. Oh, cake? Gimme. Not too fast, but gimme. Is there anything you can't eat anymore? I already answered that. People really like to ask this question. This is the big one. It's like, what can you not eat? How are you managing getting enough calories? This is something that I'm still learning. Since my surgery, my total gastrectomy was only in July, I'm kind of learning how to eat again. My body is learning how to balance everything out, right? It's difficult. But my mother-in-law, when my father-in-law was passing away from cancer, gave him Benacalorie. So much to the chagrin of me having to say that my mother-in-law is right. For any of you in here with son-in-laws that also have that problem, I apologize. We're doing our best. I have Benacalorie now in my bag, right? Just in case I need it. I still eat the same amount of meals. I still eat generally the same amount of food my wife does, the same amount that I was when I was a stomach person. Now that I'm a stomachless person, I feel like I am still eating, but I'm still losing weight. So I'm still balancing all of that out. Is it a multivitamin? Is it a different type of high-calorie food? We were really, really, really diligent at the beginning of getting enough calories. But as Dr. Yang Hee Woo mentioned, you breathe and you lose 1,500 calories. That's all day, right? So if I have to get 2,100 or maybe even 3,000, that's kind of difficult because I wake up and I need to start eating butter. Like I don't know what do you do? The answer is yes, it's butter. Just add butter to everything. Mayonnaise, it's pretty good too. This is a question that I would actually like to talk about with people after this session today is done, but the process is similar, but a partial stomach removal is more connected to a gastric sleeve, right? Gastric bypass. So since there's food somewhere to catch, and that bowl is still there to like muddle things up, I do obviously connect with this as, yes, stomach cancer, marker for your husband, partial stomach removal. But in my experience, some people that I've talked to that have gotten the partial stomach removal have just done the total gastrectomy later, right? So to me, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much the same, except I don't have a stomach. You will still have a stomach. So I don't know. It's like a toss-up, right? It's like, I really hope my answer for the internet was, I'm so sorry about your husband. That's terrible. Obviously, this is very similar to mine, but definitely look up the symptoms and care for someone with a gastric sleeve. That's usually that's what I would tell people. I always have to preface all my videos with, hey, I'm just a guy. I'm not a doctor. Please don't listen to me as much as you could to like a real doctor. This is one that I mentioned earlier. Has your perspective on life changed at all? I'm a little less annoyed with my toddler. I'm a little less annoyed when she screams at me because I just want to brush her teeth. Or if my wife and I get into an argument, I'm a little bit more aware of the fact that I could have not been here if we had waited 3 years. Obviously, my connection to my spirituality helps a lot with that. My perception of what matters kind of changed a little bit, but I think that's evening out. So I think I'm getting back to my old grumpy self. So that's good. Bioreflux is something that people ask me about a lot. I was scared of bioreflux so much in the hospital that I did not lay down straight for 7 days. I couldn't do it. I was scared. I don't recommend it. It was awful. My back still hurts. But the way that I mitigated this was just by having a wedge pillow. Wedge pillows are fantastic. They're very cheap, they're very comfortable. Couldn't cuddle my wife as much, but not having bile reflux was totally worth it. Now I'm okay, about 3 months out. I don't really have that issue anymore. Actually, yesterday in the hotel room was the first time where I ever got to a bed and laid on my back without even thinking about it. And I just stared at the ceiling and I thought, nothing. Whoa. And I never thought I'd be able to do that again. So bile reflux is a big one, but it's not as bad as I thought. Has my recovery been better or worse than I expected? Much better. Much better. And I chalk this up to being young and healthy. 36, all of my other organs working. Didn't ever really have the best relationship with my stomach before. Had really bad heartburn, not because of cancer, but because of a hernia on my esophagus? Question mark, doctors? Yeah? That sounds right? That one guy's nodding? Okay, cool. So they took that out. That was pretty cool while they were in there. But yeah, so now I just feel like my intestines have been doing a lot of the work anyway. So now I think my body overall is just very supportive, more so than I think a lot of people have it. How do you stay hydrated? By drinking water. It's pretty cool. Drinking water is something that I didn't think I would be able to do. I thought I would lose it completely. So I'm kind of thanking God every day that I can still drink water and enjoy water. Maybe one day I'll have to go into liquid IV or something, but right now I just drink slower. I kind of like it, actually, because now I know the true volume of how much space I have. 2 big gulps instead of 1.5 minutes of gulping. So yeah, I still stay hydrated the same way. It's just very similar to eating. You just take it slow. This is a weird one because, no, I don't get food stuck in my esophagus, but this is how I feel full. Because food, if it gets stuck in your esophagus, you are in a way worse shape than you think. You're gonna choke to death. So no, I don't feel this. I chew a lot. I chew so much that I think I'm getting strained. The next one coming up is one that I get a lot. Yes. And it's bad. I don't recommend it. Just to go back to this one really quick. I'm so sorry to my wife. We got an air purifier just sitting in our room, always on, always plugged in, just in case. So it's a very big deal. And it was one of the things that I did not expect. How are you navigating chewing and swallowing? I do it a lot. It's probably one of the biggest mental hurdles I face every single time I take a bite. Dr. Davis was the first one to tell me about that, but I didn't expect it to actually make me sad every time. I didn't expect to struggle to not swallow as much as I want to, right? So now I'm just still getting used to it. But yeah, chewing and swallowing, it's just a lot more work. What do I miss the most about pre-op days? Drinking water for 1.5 minutes. I made videos, I vlogged, and one of the things that I knew I wasn't gonna ever be able to do again was really just go to town on some water. Just demolish a whole bottle, right? And feel that encompassing relief of coolness in your stomach. That's the thing I miss the most. Yeah, that's the thing I miss the most. But again, very lucky that I still get to do this, right? Still get to drink water as much as I can. So in conclusion, as people do when they're presenting, talk about fundraising really quick. With that larger audience, I decided to raise some money. I decided to take the power back a little bit. So in between the 3 months of me finding out I had stomach cancer and me having my total gastrectomy, I decided to raise some money, and we raised $75,000. Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty cool to be able to do that, to be able to donate that to the various organizations in this community. And it was really, really cool. So I just want to say, again, thank you so much for everyone that has helped me through this. Thank you for everyone in this room. And I hope this has been eye-opening to some of you from what a patient's perspective is, the questions that he or they will get asked on the internet. It can be fun. And John wants me to talk about how there is a mixer after this at the hotel, the Elemental Hotel? Yeah. And then tomorrow morning. There you go. Make sure to tip your waitresses. And thank you so much.